What if I told you a private tape of a rapper you've been listening to since childhood just leaked, and it's shaking his entire image to the core? And trust me, this isn't just a leak. It's a scandal that's burning the industry from the inside out. Imagine waking up one morning to find the internet exploding a viral video, a top rapper's name, and secrets that were supposed to stay behind closed doors, now exposed for the whole world to see. This isn't just a leak. This is a bombshell straight from inside the music industry. And the rapper caught in the middle of it all might just be your favorite artist. He said he loved it, and honestly, so did I. It felt like everything: luxury, excitement, and thrill all wrapped into one. He even threw in some playful, race-related banter, which seemed to be his thing. But I could not tell if this was really his personality, or if it was just the alcohol and nerves talking. Inside, my mind was racing. 1,000 thoughts rushed in at once, each one louder than the last. Was he going to hurt me? Was this about to turn into something I was not prepared for? Or was he just making a move, testing the waters to see how far I would go? My heart felt like it was trying to beat its way out of my chest, each step up the stairs making it thump even harder. By the time I reached the top, my palms were sweaty, my breath was short, and every nerve in my body was on high alert. Then I saw him. He stood there, completely calm, almost like he had been expecting me all along. His voice was casual to casual as he greeted me with a smooth, "Hey, what's up?" I tried to mirror that calm energy, forcing my voice to match his. "Hey, what's up?" I replied, hoping he could not hear the nervous shake hiding underneath my words. I did not want to seem scared, even though that is exactly how I felt. But then, without warning, his tone shifted. He told me to get down, firm, direct, no hesitation. It was in that moment that something clicked inside me. The fear did not vanish completely, but it twisted into something else: a strange pull, a curiosity, maybe even excitement. I had this sudden, almost shocking realization: maybe I really was into this. My heartbeat stayed fast, but now it was not just anxiety. There was something electric in the air, and I could feel it running through me. The atmosphere changed instantly. Just moments before, I had been standing there as nothing more than a fan who admired him from afar. Now, I was in a situation that felt deeply personal, charged, and completely unexpected. It was like crossing an invisible line, stepping into a space where the rules were different and the stakes were higher. Then, it happened. No build-up, no drawn-out pause, he simply pulled it out, and in that moment, I froze. My mind struggled to process what I was seeing, because it was nothing like I had imagined. People often joke about how skinny men are blessed, but this went beyond a stereotype. This was something else entirely. It was undeniably big. But it was not just the size that caught me off guard. There was something unusual about it, something that made it stand out even more. It had a curve, not subtle, not barely there, but a clear, noticeable lean to the left. It was impossible to ignore. My eyes lingered for a second longer than I meant them to. That curve gave it a kind of distinct character, something unique, something you could never forget once you saw it. My mind was still catching up, trying to decide how I felt. Was I intimidated? Impressed? Both. The moment felt strange, almost surreal. Here I was, standing in a room with someone I had only ever seen from a distance. Someone who existed in my world as an image, a persona, a voice in music, videos and interviews. And now, I was up close to close, seeing a side of him that the public would never imagine. I could feel my pulse in my fingertips. The air felt heavier, thicker somehow. Every small movement seemed magnified. His presence was overwhelming, not just physically, but in the way he carried himself, in the control he seemed to have over the moment. Part of me wanted to take a step back, to create space and give myself a chance to think. Another part of me wanted to lean in, to see where this would go, to explore the energy that was building between us. It was a confusing mix of emotions: fear tangled up with desire, uncertainty wrapped around curiosity. That curvilining to the left kept flashing in my mind. It was such a small detail, but in the middle of all this tension, it seemed huge. I could not decide if it made him seem more human or more dangerous. Either way, it was burned into my memory instantly. He did not seem nervous at all. In fact, the way he moved, the way he stood there, it was like he had been in this exact position countless times before. His confidence was unshakable, and in that confidence, there was a challenge, unspoken, but clear. My breathing slowed, but my mind did not. Thoughts kept coming. What am I doing here? How far is this going to go? Am I ready for this? I could almost hear my own heartbeat in the silence between us. He looked at me with an expression I could not fully read, somewhere between amusement and intention. There was no small talk, no warm-up, no easing into it. He seemed to know exactly what he wanted from this moment. And there I was, standing at the edge of a choice I was not sure I had time to think through. Everything felt heightened, the sound of my own breathing, the closeness of the space, the way his words from earlier still lingered in the air. I did not move right away. Part of me wanted to test him, to see if he would break the silence, to gauge just how much control he really thought he had. But deep down, I knew that whatever happened next would be something I could never take back. Still, the truth was undeniable. I was in it. Whether it was adrenaline, attraction, or the sheer gravity of the situation, I could feel myself being pulled in. The line between danger and desire blurred right in front of me, and as I stood there, my mind looping back to that first pounding heartbeat on the stairs, I realized something. This moment was going to change everything. He even joked about channeling his inner Beyoncé, tossing his head playfully in a way that made me laugh despite myself. The comment was unexpected, almost absurd in the moment, but it cracked through the tension just enough for me to breathe. For a fleeting second, the mood felt lighter. Like maybe this wasn't going to spiral into something dangerous after all. But the truth sat heavy under the surface, refusing to leave. I was still shaking inside. Where I come from, moments like this aren't harmless experiments or casual encounters. For transgender women, especially those involved with so-called straight, tough guys, rappers, athletes, street figures, there's always a shadow hanging over it. The risk is real. The intimacy might feel thrilling in the moment, but reality has a way of catching up. And when it does, it can turn ugly fast. I've seen it happen to other girls. The sweet talk and private moments dissolve into denial, threats, even violence. Sometimes, tragically, it ends with someone losing their life. That danger was not lost on me. Every joke he cracked, every smile he gave, I was measuring it against the possibility that this could all flip in a heartbeat. But here we are now. That night is no longer just a private memory or a whispered secret between two people. It's a headline, a hashtag, a storm blowing across every corner of the internet. Welcome back to Fame Flux, where we pull back the curtain on the truth behind celebrity headlines. And today, we're diving into one of the most shocking scandals to hit the scene in years. A leak, bold, messy, and explosive, has just surfaced. And Soulja Boy, a name you thought you'd only hear in the context of viral dances and chart-topping singles, is right at the center of it. The whispers that had been circling for days have just been supercharged, because a former partner has allegedly dropped a private tape. The clip didn't just slip quietly onto some obscure corner of the internet. It erupted. Within minutes, it was being shared, dissected, and memed. Social media lit up like it had been waiting for this moment, each platform becoming its own arena for speculation, judgment, and unfiltered reactions. At first, no one could say for sure if it was real. The footage was grainy, the angles were suspicious, and the faces, while familiar, were just blurry enough to spark debate. But in the court of public opinion, facts are often irrelevant when the drama is this juicy. People picked sides before the truth had a chance to catch up. For some, the tape was vindication, a supposed confirmation of rumors that had been swirling for years about Soulja's private life. For others, it was an obvious setup, a desperate play for attention and clout from someone looking to ride his name to viral infamy. And then there were those who didn't care about the context at all. They were just here for the mess, retweeting and commenting like it was their full-time job. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the tension is building. Soulja Boy hasn't gone on a rant yet, but sources close to him say his team is scrambling. Lawyers are being called. DMs are being screenshot. Statements are being drafted and torn up, rewritten and reworded as they weigh the risks of speaking out versus letting the buzz die down. And while the internet debates whether the video is authentic, the person behind the leak, who claims to have once been intimately involved with him, is doubling down. They're dropping cryptic posts, teasing more proof, and engaging with fans like they're hosting a live watch party of the chaos. It's not just the tape that's keeping people hooked, it's the slow, deliberate drip of information, like a scandal being released in episodes. The Beyoncé joke from that night keeps replaying in my mind now, but it feels different. Back then, it was a throwaway comment, a momentary bit of levity in an otherwise tense encounter. Now it's colored by everything that's happened since, because once a private moment is ripped out of its original context and thrown under the unforgiving glare of the public, it takes on a new life one you can't control. And that's the danger with stories like this. Once the first wave of gossip hits, the facts become irrelevant to most people. The narrative gets rewritten by strangers with no stake in the truth, only in the entertainment value of the drama. The person you really are gets replaced by the version of you that exists in someone else's tweet or TikTok caption. This isn't just about embarrassment or rumors anymore, it's about survival. For someone like me, in my position, I've always had to navigate the tightrope between visibility and safety. Too much attention, and you become a target. Too little, and your side of the story disappears completely. For Soulja Boy, the stakes are different but no less dangerous. His brand, his fan base, his public image, they're all currency in his world. And once the public starts questioning that image, once cracks appear in the facade, it can be almost impossible to patch them up. The internet is a beast that feeds on new developments. And right now, it's starving for more. Every hour that passes without a concrete statement, without a clear denial or admission, the speculation grows. Screenshots are being analyzed, old interviews are being dug up, and anyone who's ever been in a photo with him is suddenly a potential witness. What started as a private moment has become a runaway train, and it's not slowing down. If this really does make its way into a courtroom, the fallout could be massive. Receipts will have to be produced, testimonies given under oath. And that's when the line between rumor and truth will either be erased or made permanent. But for now, the only thing that's certain is this: once a secret leaves the shadows, it doesn't go back. It becomes part of the story forever, whether you want it to or not. The clip, which started circulating only hours ago, appears to show Soulja Boy in a compromising position, something he probably never wanted the world to see. Fans are scrambling to confirm whether it is real, while critics are wasting no time dragging his name through the mud. Soulja Boy, known for speaking his mind online, clapped back almost immediately. In a series of heated posts, he denied everything and threatened legal action against whoever was behind the leak. Sources say he has already contacted his lawyers to send takedown notices and begin a full investigation. This is not just embarrassing, it could spark a messy legal and public battle. Rumors are spreading fast, with whispers suggesting the self-proclaimed young millionaire might have secretly been with another man. The drama really caught fire when someone named William the Baddest stepped forward, claiming he had been with Soulja Boy. He shared his story in a tell-all interview with Tasha K, famous for exposing celebrity secrets. William's account was detailed, bold, and graphic, leaving people shocked and glued to every word. What made it even more intense was William admitting that being with someone from the street world made him nervous. For him, it was not just about the experience, it was about the danger that could follow once the truth came out. William explained that in certain circles, being involved with another man could be dangerous if the wrong people found out. The risk, secrecy, and boldness of his claims had everyone talking. You could hear the tension in his voice. He sounded shaken, but at the same time, he seemed completely in his element while sharing his story about Soulja Boy. According to William, that night felt like a fantasy come to life. There was lube, roleplay, and everything he had ever wanted. He described it as smooth, slick, and just right, leaving nothing to the imagination. Scene by scene, he laid it all out without holding back. But the moment his story hit the internet, Soulja Boy moved quickly to shut it down. Soulja called it all lies, insisting nobody touched him, not William, not anyone. He said none of the so-called bedroom talk ever happened. And he was not just denying it, he came out swinging with threats of lawsuits. He made it clear he planned to go after anyone who reposted or repeated the claims, and he named Tasha K directly in his warning. According to him, the whole thing started over nothing more than a simple photo with a fan. But his tone made it obvious he was not playing around. "You getting sued? That was my lawyer on the line," he shouted. The conversation then took a sharp turn when someone brought up the time. 50 Cent blamed a drop in Empire's second season ratings on too much gay stuff. That sparked the classic phrase, the pot calling the kettle black. And it was clear there was some shade in the air. Things got messier when old rumors about Soulja's preferences resurfaced, including past comments from Vivica A. Fox. She had once hinted that he might be into men, and her subtle jabs reignited speculation. During an interview, she threw shade by referencing those rumors and reminding everyone of the time 50 criticized Empire for focusing on gay themes, then hit back with, "That's the pot calling the kettle black." The internet instantly started connecting dots between past whispers and the current drama, while Vivica never directly called him out. Her tone made it clear she was stirring the pot. She even clarified, "I'm not saying he's gay," but by then, the speculation was already spreading like wildfire. Then William poured more fuel on the fire by posting an old photo of himself with Soulja Boy, claiming it was taken the same night their encounter happened. Fans zoomed in, studied every pixel, and used it to push the theory that his story might be true. The internet went into overdrive. Some thought William was clout chasing. Others believed every word. One bold comment on X read, "Tell him, prove us wrong. Let's see the package and see if it goes to the left," referring to William's earlier description. That line alone had people shocked, amused, and curious all at once. Reactions were split. Some wanted proof, while others defended Soulja Boy fiercely. One supporter even admitted, "Yeah, we all know it's curved and big, but this girl sounds like she's making it up," trying to downplay the claims while still acknowledging the rumors. Even with the chaos, Soulja Boy's loyal fanbase stood by him, insisting these allegations did not change how they saw him. But the talk has not slowed down. Just as the internet started to settle, new drama emerged. People began digging through old interviews, trying to connect his past comments to the fresh wave of claims. An old clip from one of Soulja Boy's past live streams suddenly resurfaced, where he joked about being different behind closed doors. That single moment was enough to send social media into a frenzy all over again. Timelines lit up, with people dissecting every word and twisting vague comments into supposed confessions. One popular influencer even posted a reaction video saying, "We've been ignoring the signs. He told y'all without saying too much." That post alone sparked thousands of replies, with viewers debating whether the clip was harmless or a hint at something much bigger. Meanwhile, William has not backed down. He's still active online, doubling down on his claims and teasing more evidence. During a live stream, he hinted that he has video proof but is saving it for the right moment. That statement alone whipped the internet into a frenzy, with people demanding he either release it or stop baiting the public. Every day, this story is growing bigger than just a one-time rumor. It's becoming an ongoing saga. Between supposed receipts, fiery reactions, and looming legal threats, it feels like we're watching a reality show unfold in real time. Just when it seemed like the drama had peaked, a new twist dropped. Someone claiming to be close to William stepped into the conversation. They said they've known him for years and hinted that his story might only be the tip of the iceberg. Without revealing names or hard proof, they suggested that private group chats, direct messages, and even exclusive industry parties could back up William's account. Nothing has been verified, but that hasn't stopped internet detectives from digging deep, searching for old posts, screenshots, or anything linking Soulja Boy to these claims. Meanwhile, Soulja Boy's camp has been quiet. No press releases, no interviews, just whispers of legal threats in the background. It almost feels like they're hoping the noise will fade on its own. But with how fast these rumors are evolving, silence might not be enough to put the fire out. The deeper this goes, the more questions people have, and the harder it is for the public to look away. Whether it's clout chasing, or a mix of both, the audience is locked in. And now, with this new voice fueling the chaos, there's no sign of it slowing down. Tasha K, true to her brand, let William's interview run wild, which only amplified the mess. But if Soulja Boy really plans to take this to court, both Tasha and William will need hard proof to back every word. Because if even a fraction of these accusations holds up under legal scrutiny or real witness testimony, it could spark a media firestorm that not even Soulja's bold, flashy image could survive. Once lawyers and courtrooms are involved, this stops being internet gossip. If solid evidence comes to light, the situation could flip in ways no one is prepared for. Not the fans, not the blogs, and not Soulja Boy's own team. In the end, if everything is between consenting adults and nobody is being manipulated or harmed, there's no real place for judgment. But as it stands, this story is far from over. And every twist, every leak, and every receipt has people waiting to see what happens next. So if you're following the ride, buckle up, because the next chapter could be the biggest yet.